What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and in today's video, I'm gonna share with you why I absolutely hate my Tesla. Now, I think these things that I'm going to share are gonna be a big enough deal that the average person should probably not invest in a Tesla, at least right now. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so here's my Tesla, and right off the bat, I think I need to show you this. If you zoom in, you can see it's dirty right now, which makes it way more noticeable, but as you drift across, do you see how much wider that gap gets? So over here, I can not fit my finger in. Over here, my whole finger goes in. Now this is completely closed, and as you look at the lines throughout the Tesla, you'll find similar situations like this. However, in the back, it absolutely drives me nuts. My Tesla is hooked up to Bluetooth, and you'll see it's supposed to open when I get here, but I come out and it takes forever for it to warm up, okay? Now, I just saw the thing that says tap key card to unlock, but here's the deal. My phone is on Wi-Fi, and if I continue to just go around, and again, I'm recording with my phone, so it's probably making it delay even longer, it will not open. Now, I know this is something that you're like, oh, that can't happen that often. No, seriously, it always happens. And so what I'm gonna have to do now is get off whatever I'm doing on my phone, go in, turn off my Bluetooth, and then turn it back on to be able to get into my car. Now, I don't usually carry the card because it's so much easier to use your phone, but when the car hasn't been used for the day, you can come around and try literally everything. And sometimes it'll open up, sometimes after a minute it'll open up, but sometimes it just doesn't open at all, especially if you're doing stuff on your phone. So if you're not carrying your card around and you're using your phone, you're on a phone call, you're doing something else, it's absolutely infuriating because you can't get into your freaking car. I thought it would open when I tested this. It opened, and now that I'm recording again, it's just not opening. I grabbed my wife's phone so you could see my phone and see what I'm going through. So when I come over here and I try to open my car, it does not let me in. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, Chandler, you probably just weren't linked up right. Well, here's the deal. When I go into my Tesla app, you can see everything is linked up. Now that I'm in the Tesla app, I'm not gonna push unlock, but just by having the app open, it now is going to connect. But you saw when you have your phone, if it glitches like that because you were doing something else, it won't open up until you get into the app and open it. Now the problem is a lot of times when you come to get into your app, and we're just gonna lock it and see if it'll do it again. I go in, I exit out of my app, same thing. It's ridiculous. It should be able to just work without you having to go. That means if you're rushing out to your car, you grab your phone for your car keys, you come over, you've got to press on your Tesla app, you've got to wait for it to load, and then it will open up. Now, it doesn't always do this. Sometimes I can come out and it'll open right up, but a lot of time it's a total pain in the butt. Now, I'm sure there are lots of Tesla lovers out there that are gonna get super heated over this video, but here's the deal. I'm a Tesla lover. I'm an Elon Musk fan, and I love my Tesla because I literally have 5 other vehicles. I have my truck, which is our daily driver. I have 2 sports cars, which have been a great comparison for the Tesla because the Tesla is so much faster. And then my wife has the Lexus that we also use as kind of a daily driver with the family. But the only reason I love the Tesla is it's got a lot of cool features that other cars don't. However, if this was my daily driver, I'm telling you right now, if this was the car my family had to depend on, I would have serious second thoughts, and I probably would have sold it by now because of a lot of the issues we've run into. You're gonna find panel gaps, you're gonna find issues, but what I wanted to show you back here on the trunk is pretty infuriating. Now, I've owned this car for over 2 years, and I didn't notice this till later, so it goes to show how much attention to detail I have. But look at this piece, okay? This piece is all sorts of wanky. I don't know if that's a bad word or a word I shouldn't use. It's just super funky, and I know you're like, oh, Chandler, just flip it over. It doesn't flip over. Like, it's twisted like the trunk has been installed crooked to where this is solid right here. Like, you can't move this, you can't pull it down, you can't straighten it out. So you've got this super weird trunk thing where everything is crooked, and as you follow it around, all the way around, it doesn't sit right. And that's the reason that my trunk is all uneven. And trust me, I've pulled out the plastic piece. I've done everything I can to try and straighten it out, but it's just all sorts of weird. Now, these are very minor issues. And so this is something where even had I noticed it, I still would have bought the Tesla because of all the cool features. One of the other things that just drives me nuts is this car was created to give you an experience. Like the fact it can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds is insane, and the electric feel gives you a feel like you've never experienced before. But the thing that drives me nuts is I'm always giving people a ride. I'm saying, hey, come hop in, I'll show you the speed. They hop in, and before they get out, I have to give them a warning. I have to say, hey, this is a Tesla, don't feel bad, but they installed this emergency handle, you can see. And what happens is if they pull that handle, it ruins the door. So Tesla tells you only use it if it's an emergency. So when you look, the proper way to open the door is by pushing this button. But if it's an emergency and the electronics aren't working, you pull this and it ejects the door. Now what's insane is if you've never been in a Tesla before, you see buttons, you're like, well, I don't want to touch this or this because I don't know what they control. Maybe it's the window, maybe it's something else. I just want to get out of the door and I know what a door handle looks like, and that's a freaking door handle. So the first thing they do is pull it, and when you pull it, the Tesla monitor freaks out. Just for sake of video, I'm going to show you, even though it's bad for the Tesla, but the reality is tons of people have done it because no one knows you're not supposed to. So when you pull it, it gives you this: manual door may cause damage to window trim. So it's like, are you freaking kidding me? When I give people a ride, the thing that's going to cause damage is literally the only thing that looks like a door handle. Now, none of this is disqualifying. Like, it shouldn't be a reason that you wouldn't want to buy the car. It's just stupid. I'm going to get to the reasons you're going to want to not buy the car. But when you bring people in here, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, Chandler, that's really not that big of a deal. But it is. When you buy a car that's $70,000 plus, which is what I paid for the Tesla Model 3 Performance, and you get it here and you're in this place where you want to show people, and every person that gets in the car, you have to feel like an idiot and be like, hey, really quick, before you get out, don't touch the handle, push the little button. You just feel stupid and it's super annoying, and you always forget, and people end up breaking whatever it does by doing that. I've talked about a lot of the quirks, and I've been hard on Tesla. I mean, we've talked about the handle, the gaps, just little stuff, and a lot of it is frustrating. There are also a lot of things with the Tesla that are just new, and so if you haven't figured it out, you won't know how to do it, and that'll be frustrating. I don't have issue with these things. These aren't things that should make you not buy the car. The car is incredible. The 0 to 60 is incredible. The experience, just everything about the car is really cool. However, there is one thing that should disqualify a lot of people from ever purchasing this car, and that's the part that I want to explain. You've got to understand, I live here in Idaho, where it's very cold. Now, there are two things that make a Tesla miserable. It's the cold and going faster than the average speed. And so when you go on and you say, hey, I want to go to Tremont, it shows me to stop in Pocatello and charge for 20 minutes. The thing is I don't even know if this charge will get me to Pocatello because it's cold outside in Idaho right now. And when it's cold, it zaps the battery. Now, the other thing that's frustrating is if I'm just going on the road and I'm going 80 miles an hour, that's the speed limit here on our freeway, that will also go through the battery and double what it says. If it says I have a 200-mile range and it's cold outside and I'm going over 80, then I have like maybe an 80, maybe 70-mile range. I know that sounds absurd, but that's how it is, and that's what's so frustrating is then you've got to watch your speed. You've got to make sure you're not doing road trips when it's super cold, and even if you are doing road trips at average temperatures, say 50, 60, 70 degrees, you've got to drive very conservatively, and still you're nowhere near to what it says. So when you hop on here and it says you can get to Pocatello and you'll have 12% left, 100% I would not make it to Pocatello. And I know you're like, really? Like Tesla says you will. But you won't, I promise you. Even right now, if I drove under the speed limit in the temperatures here, I would not make it, and that is infuriating. And so you can kind of understand if you're like me and you want to drive the car for a road trip, or you need to go over 100 miles in a day or whatever it is, it totally sucks. But the thing you've also got to take into consideration is how often do you remember to fill up your car every time after you drive it? because I don't do that with any of my other cars. But with this, I religiously plug in when I get home and keep it completely filled because of one experience I had a while back. It was actually 1 year ago. I had to take a trip to Rexburg and back. Now on maps, it says I'm 24 miles there, I'm 24 miles back. I had over 100 miles that it said I could go. And so I thought, dude, there is no way in heck I will have any issues because I'm over what I need. Now, the unfortunate part is I went down there and I let a buddy drive it. I dropped off my car with Mark Wilmore to clean it and it looks awesome. However, I think I figured out why I had no range left. He brings it back and him going, what, probably 3-4 miles tops in cold weather and going 0 to 60 where he was thrashing the throttle and really giving it. He brought it back and on it, it said that I could get 45, maybe 50 miles. Now I look at that and I'm saying, okay, I'm 24 miles from home. I can get 45, 50 miles according to this. I'm gonna be pushing it super close. But it was at the end of the day and it was probably -10, -15 outside. I start driving and I'm watching every mile I go, I'm losing 3 miles. No joke. Sometimes even 4 miles. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm not gonna make it home. So I get to where I am probably, I would say 10 miles from home and I'm down to under 10 miles to go. And so I have used 30 miles plus, probably closer to 40 miles to go 14 miles. And I know there's no way I'm gonna go home. So I decided to go and pull over at this place where I knew somebody was there. It was a hotel thing right off the freeway. I go in and I say, hey, is there any way I can plug in? And I'm gonna see if potentially I can just leave the car here and have my wife come and get me. Well, here's the problem. They don't have a Tesla charger installed because Tesla chargers aren't anywhere. There wasn't a Tesla charger in Rexburg, so I didn't have an option to do that. That's a whole city that has thousands of people that doesn't have a charger. The only chargers are in Idaho Falls, and the only charger in Idaho Falls wasn't where I was coming in. It was on the other side of town. So my best option was to try and get home, but now I'm stranded at this place, and I'm sure you're saying, well, Chandler, why don't you just bring your charger? You can plug into the wall. Well, I try to plug into the wall, and guess what happens? By plugging in with just a standard plug, because they didn't have a Tesla plug, because why would they install a Tesla plug in some random house? With the normal plug, they tell you, hey, you can get 5 miles per hour. You burn more than 5 miles per hour letting a car sit in the cold. So by just plugging in my Tesla in the cold, I was losing mileage. So I'm down to the point where I was under 10 miles. I'm losing a mile having my car plugged in. I know that sounds insane, but I'm plugged in with a normal outlet, losing miles. So now I'm like, holy crap, I don't even know what to do. There's no Tesla shop here. I have no way to save this car. So I had to urgently call a tow truck and say, hey, I need you to tow my Tesla. Drop $300 or $400 to have them come, pick it up, tow it to my house, and I have to frantically do it that night, late in the night, because if I wait till the morning, I know I won't have any battery to be able to get my Tesla off of the truck and into my garage to a charger. And so here is the deal with Tesla. Are they fast? Is the tech incredible? Is the autopilot cool? All of that stuff is next level. But if this is going to be your daily driver, and you're someone that's doing more than 30 miles in a car that's your daily driver, which who doesn't do a road trip on occasion? Who doesn't have a longer day where they're going from appointment to appointment? I don't know anyone other than me or people in a position where they have multiple cars so they can plan a specific day to say, hey, on this day, I can drive the Tesla, even if it is cold weather, because I'll have 270 miles and I know I'm only gonna be driving 50, so there's no way that it can burn through that much mileage.
So I'm driving home from Rexburg and I get an urgent call from Chandler. His Tesla is out of battery and there's no electric chargers for miles.
I hope this video helps you understand that I do love my Tesla. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna buy the Tesla Roadster. But if you're thinking about buying this car for your only car, as your daily driver, something you're gonna whip around town, go to appointments, do road trips in, I'm telling you, it's not worth the risk. It is not something you should buy as your only car until they get more chargers and they're able to get a bigger charge that can hold its charge in colder temperatures and with going at what now is an average speed limit. At 80 miles. Holy cow, I don't know why I just did that. It's like Tesla's mad at me. It just moved the steering wheel. Guys, with all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. I did just set my settings. Maybe it had to do with personal settings, but why I'm doing this video after sitting in here for a couple minutes, the steering wheel just moved and it started beeping for a minute. Like, it's like Elon's listening to me and he was taking a shot. I'll probably still post the video. Just make sure you guys have a great day.